Rise and shine to the morning light. Sister MJ brings the truth so bright. Health and nature in every sound. Feel the rhythm, let's get unbound. From our higher we get our power. Every herb, every healing flower. Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day. Naturally you, naturally free, naturally living as God meant to be. Breathe the air that's fresh and pure. Nature's bounty is the cure. Sister MJ shows what's real in every word and every meal. From the mountains to the sea, every breath is harmony. Feel the beat and feel alive. With Sister MJ we thrive. Grains and fruits in every bite. Feel the energy, feel the light. Harmony in every part. Naturally you with all your heart.
Good evening, and welcome to Naturally You. It's such a pleasure to be with you again tonight. Shalom, my lovely sister Dawn. Shalom, my lovely sister Kim. And Amya, shalom, Ark. How you doing? It is, I gotta tell y'all, I like to be transparent because I'm real, right? I am mad tonight. I am furious. I am furious because of what I have uncovered. Years ago, I've always been into health and wellness, and I was trying to teach others about GMOs, genetically modified organisms, or as I say, gross me out. And the definition then to the definition now has drastically changed. Drastically. So I'm really mad. And I've got so much to share with y'all. You probably want to make notes of this. Get your phone. You can take pictures of some of the stuff I'm sharing, because we have to have, you got to have your guard up at all times, not just sometimes, all times. Have your sword, because we are at war. We're at war. Period. Dot. We're at war. So let's get started. Let's get started. We are at war. Shalom, Sister Nafisa and Arapika. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. As I mentioned, and you guys, I hope you can go back and listen to this, because it's a lot of information. A lot of it you may know or may not, but it's a good refresher to have. And let's get started. Gross me out. Why do I say gross me out? What a terrible way to start a show. Gross me out. Well, the Most High made this food so wonderfully delicious for us, fruits and vegetables from the earth. And you bring that from the farm to the table, and we eat that. It's live, living energy. It has a vibration. We have a vibration. We have energy in us. The sun gives us our energy. And you have a tomato you may have picked, and it's kind of green, but you put it in that sunlight and it turns nice and red and plump. Then you slice into that with a ceramic knife because it doesn't harm the fruit or vegetables as does the regular knives. We want a ceramic knife, and it cuts it, and you open that and you see the beauty of that fruit or vegetable. And then you take that and you eat it. You chew it until it's liquid, and then we swallow because we want to aid our digestion, right? And that beautiful experience that we have, that as we eat, it goes through our digestive system, and then we excrete it out when we evacuate, and then the ecosystem is fed, right? We have taken it, we've eaten it, we may have eaten the seeds, and we spew that out, but it's an ecosystem. However, we have man wanting to be in control, egotistical men, mad men in laboratories messing things up. And that is why I am mad tonight. I hope you can join me in this righteous anger, because it is righteous anger, because it's against our God and it's against our bodies, which are living. And this pharmaceutical and all this other stuff is not in alignment to it. So you ready? Let's go. Let's go. Shalom, Sister Kana. And let's get started. Let's first of all define GMO, genetically modified organisms. And you think organisms, oh, what is that? Let's look at the definition. Let's look at this definition. And a plant, animal, or a microorganism whose DNA, which is our life, that string, that DNA string sequence, has been altered artificially through the insertion with a needle, they're poking something in it, deletion, they're taking something out, or modification of one or more genes in order to express them in a different manner or suppress them. All right? That's a whole lot to unpack there, but we're going to unpack it tonight because we know the plants, how they do it in our food. We're seeing that today. Then they're doing it they're also doing it in our meats because they're shooting them up with all kinds of stuff, and they're calling it, they need this shot or this shot to give them, make them healthier or make them get fat quicker so they can go to slaughter. And it's just wrong. So we want to take a look, see what it is, because if our eyes are shut, we are missing everything. We want our eyes to be wide open so we know what's going on. All right? Now, we have a choice. And I want you to notice something on this definition here. It says in 2020, GMO soybeans made up 94% of all soybeans planted, and 92% of the corn planted was GMO corn. I don't believe those numbers. It's more like 99.5. And again, it's genetically altering. And when it's genetically altering, think about this. Our bodies are alive. Why, if it's genetically altering, it's synthetic. How does synthetic mix with natural? Anyone tell me? Help me understand. The math ain't math. So please help me understand. How does that happen? It just doesn't. And we feeling it because we've been set up. From the get up, we've been set up. We just didn't know it, but we're going to know tonight. So let's go. Shalom, my lovely Shamaria. I need to call you, just like I told Sister Gana, I need to call her too. All these calls, so much to do, so little time. All right, so let's go. Now, we know what a GMO is. It's something that's been altered in some shape or form, right? Yes, I need to make it make sense. Exactly. So, biotechnology, we all in the age of AI now. And this AI is artificial interference. Don't be fooled with intelligence. It's not intelligence, it's interference in how our body operates against what the Most High made it to do. It's Satan's seed trying to outdo the Most High, and it cannot work in the long run, but in the interim, it's affecting many of us. Would you agree? All right, so we have this biotechnology where they're doing they adding stuff, they take extrapolating, they're adding, they're doing this, doing that, just like they did with the dinosaurs, so-called, the prehistoric animals, because they're doing it to animals too. I always ask this one question. 22 animals came out of the water for Adam to name. How many animals do we have today? The math ain't mathing. Something has happened. Somebody has been sitting in a lab, mixing and dicing and splicing, and that's what we have. So let's look at some of these pictures, because I want you all to not just hear me, I want you to see so that you can make it all make sense to you. Now, we have a system where I call it sick care. Some people call it health care. And in my world, I choose lifestyle change. And many other people choose pills and surgery. Still a choice, but you get it. You know, which one would you choose? I prefer making changes preventatively. I don't get on that pill and surgery line, because they're taking out and cutting and dicing and changing my DNA. And I like my DNA, so I like my lifestyle change like the Most High gave me. I want to keep every organ He gave me. I don't want to add any plastic or metal and forgets a sponge in me to cause all kinds of issues. I don't want that. I rather make a lifestyle change. So I'll go plant my garden. I will plant my seeds and let it grow. And I will go outside and pick my supper from the field and bring it to the table. And we will eat and we will say grace and we will enjoy that food and that time together. Anybody remember that? Those were the days. Those were the days when we did that. Now we go to the grocery store, we go down the aisles, process, and we wonder why we're sick. Some of us go to just the outside aisles where you will get your vegetables, you'll get your fruits, you'll get your meats, you'll get your dairy and your butter and your cheese, and then you leave. But most of us, we go up and down each aisle just to see what they have. I'm big on that. Oh, I want to see what they have, but not anymore. I'm going straight, get what I need and get out. So these are things that we have been programmed to do when we go grocery shopping. I would say don't ever go to the grocery store when you're hungry, because you buy things you don't really need. And that could harm your wallet as well. So when we go and look at these foods now, and I'm talking foods on the outside aisles, we're talking the fruits and your vegetables mainly. And we are going to talk about the meats as well. And then we're going to talk about how all of this is impacting our body and what things they're adding, the additives that's being put in the foods that is against our commandments, and also what they're trying to do, not only in the meats and the fruits and vegetables, but in products as well that's harming us. And it's all causing us dis-ease. Dis-ease. Okay? Most people are taking medications because it's easy to pop a pill. To make a lifestyle change, not so much. They'd rather pop a pill. They don't want to know about the side effects or desired effects of the pills. So many people never even look at that. When you ask, they're like, no, death could be one of them, and they're okay with it. They're still taking it. But this example here, most people are taking medications to solve problems that are 100% caused by what they put in their mouths and the lifestyle. And when I say lifestyle, what do I mean? What we put on our skin, the lotions, the products, the hair stuff, the chemtrails, the chemicals from the air, all of that impacting us. We need to understand how it's affecting us so that we can make a wise, because wisdom is something that comes from the Rawak, and we need to exercise it. Now, there are labelings you can see on your fruits and vegetables. They call them the PLU codes, and these codes give you a idea about what you should be looking for. Okay. Now, if you look at it, you will see that these here are several different fruits and vegetables that all have that appeal, which is, we're going to talk about that later on. But I really want to talk about our labeling. We have a 9 for organic. It's the 9 number. You'll see it's a 5-digit number. And then you'll see the 4-digit number. It will be a number 4. That's conventional. Then you have the number 8. Let me read that to you all so that you will have the understanding of which ones, what's what, okay? And you can look this up on the internet. I just thought it was just too much to give all at once. Okay. The 5-digit code beginning with a 9 is one that's been used as organic. This is commonly seen among the organic produce section in your grocery store and your supermarkets, right? Then we have a 4-digit code beginning with a 3 or sometimes a 4, and that is probably conventionally grown. An example of that will be, okay, so they grew it in the yard, they took it to market, they didn't spray it, but they didn't do anything special. They didn't have the USDA organic labeling on it. They didn't go through that process, so it's considered conventional. Okay. Now, there is sometimes small lemons. For regular small lemons sold in the US are labeled 4033. Large ones are labeled 4053. Small organic lemons are coded 94033, and large would be labeled 94053. Then we also have a 5-digit code. We have a 5-digit code that starts with an 8, which means it's been genetically modified. It's a GMO. Right? So let's talk about GMOs now. We have, and that labeling is called PLU, which is your price lookup. If you go in your store and you scan it, you scan that, and that's how they know what's what. And if you look at that label there, that label, you see that green section there? That is that appeal, or it's also called Edappeal, because that is what the GMO, this genetically modified organisms, have been added into our food supply by Bill Gates and his philanthropy foundation. Okay? Now, we have a thing in our world where it's called the clean 15 or the dirty dozen. These are fruits and vegetables that you can trust to that when they put the stuff on it, the germicide, herbicide to grow it, it doesn't affect it. You know which ones to trust, which one you must eat organically, and the ones you can trust to know that they're clean. And that list is our Dirty Dozen Clean 15. Snap a picture of this. Our avocado, sweet corn. Okay, you've got to have that as organic. If you see your corn and it doesn't have a worm in it, or it looks like a creature has not been visiting, it's not organic. Your pineapple, very important. When you're eating that pineapple, wash it, soak it for at least 15-20 minutes with your baking soda or food grade peroxide, or your organic, what's the other one? Uh, you can squeeze lemon or lime on it as well. Then you have all those other fruits you see there. Then you go on the other side, the Dirty Dozen, your strawberries. The seeds of the strawberries are on the outside, so you must make sure that's organic or sustainably grown. Spinach, kale, nectarines, your apples, your grapes, potatoes, tomatoes, all of those, you've got to make sure know your farmer. If you don't know your farmer, you eating anything, and what you will get is anything, because that is the program. What they're trying to do is to make it where you accept everything they give you, because it's being shot in your plants, your seeds, the animals, and it's been shot in us. And we accepted it so well when they gave us our vaccine schedule that they said, hey, this works. We can even take it to Africa and do it, no questions asked. Not anymore. Africa is waking up. And people are now questioning it, and they are running scared. But the powers that be are still in control. So we need to do what we know to do, and that is understand what's in front of us. I'm not sure you all know this, but there are top universities for food and science and technology in the United States and abroad that study all this bioengineering that's being done to our food. Some of them, like UMass and Amherst, is number 4 in food and science. Rutgers University, that's a popular name. You all know that with basketball. They're another one. They're number 17. Cornell University in Ithaca, that's New York, I believe. That's number 22. And then Harvard is number 1. Are you surprised? Who are the Harvard graduates? Most of them are the elites, or the ones that somebody's making sure they go there so that later on in life they can put them into position as they need them to do their bidding. These places are doing us a disservice, and they have done it to the beat that it's commonplace now. You go into the grocery store and you see these things, and it's like, you know, I gotta eat. And we go and eat, and then we wonder what's going on. Now, I have to look at the time because Me and time are not very good friends when it comes to this show. So I want to be mindful of that. Now, there is an app my son introduced me to, and I know I've introduced it to some other people. It's called Yucca, Yuka. I love this app. It's free. You can download it. Go into your app store and download it. What I like about it, it will tell you, it's like a scale. It gives you how good it is for you and how bad it is for you. And then it points out what is bad in it. Because some people say, it's okay. It's only one little bite I'm going to have. It's not that big of a package. But that's not the point. The point is it allows you to make a decision whether you need that in your body or not. Then, again, not sure you all knew this, but Bill Gates of hell, good old Billy. You all know that name, right? Good old Billy. Well, Billy's been busy. He got together with Coke. You know, Coke, that taste that's so good that so many people, like the white sugar is the legal Coke, but Coke the drink, the soda pop, as we call it, right? And he partnered with Coke, $1.1 billion, not millions, $1.1 billion to put nanoparticles in the Coke. And guess what? It's iridescent. What does that might remind you of? Luciferase, anyone? It's in the Coke. And who's talking about it? You don't hear anything, but people are drinking it just like they drink the Bull and that other drink, the Monster drink. They don't care. They feel it's cool, so they're drinking it, not knowing or not caring that it's causing harm to their body. I don't know if you heard this as well. And this is not the Bill Gates show, but tonight we focusing on his debauchery to our temples. As far as land holdings, he has acquired 242,000 acres of land, 25,750 acres of transitional land, so they're not sure what they're going to do with it yet. And then 1,234 acres of recreational land. And I don't know what they're going to do for recreational because they only want us to be sitting down on your phone or on a computer or a game with our thumbs. They show us in all the movies what their plan is for us. But these are things that they're doing. The states are involved: Florida, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, North Carolina, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado. All of those he has his hands dappled in. If you look at the map, he's gone all the way across the US. And it's a done deal. He's already bought them up. It's not like he's going to give it out for people to build houses and gardens. That is not his motive. So what we need to understand here is these foods, these bioengineered foods, what they're doing to us is not good. So let's talk about it. They have done this to improve the crop yields, to get more bang for their buck, to resist pests, which some of those pests are engineered pests, and we can't control that. The Most High has given us, we have those, the plants that, what's the word I'm looking for? Cross-pollinate, and it's fine. It helps the whole ecosystem. but they want to get rid of that. They want to get rid of the bugs. And they're funding genetically modified crops such as B plus maize and cowpeas. These are genetically altered, resistant to insects. Drought tolerant maize, which is corn. Golden rice, which is engineered to produce vitamin A. And I believe that vitamin A is what they put in some of their prescriptions that they say, oh, you say, oh, vitamin A, so it's okay. No, it's not. Then they fund organizations, which is one called AGRA. It's Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, which promotes modern farming methods. And what they're doing with the seeds, they are taking the organic seeds and putting them in a bank somewhere in I want to say, Netherlands or Switzerland. They have a seed bank, and they're giving the farmers only GMO seeds so that they can grow things that will yield without the bugs and the whole normal cycle of plants and yielding fruit and then going from the farm to the table. They want to control everything. Now, these GMO seeds, they may look the same, but they are coated. And once they get in, they change your DNA or cause you to have, and listen to these issues that I'm speaking of here, because you will, if you've been following the show, these names are going to ring a bell for you. It is, and it has caused the GMO crops are often engineered to tolerate glyphosate, which is a herbicide, in Roundup. I'm sure you've all heard of Roundup. Glyphosate residues disrupt your gut bacteria. Hello, our gut, the second brain, and potentially it contributes. And they say potentially, it contributes. They know it contributes, but they say potentially. Constipation. Remember our hiccup, HICOC? That's one of them. Leaky gut syndrome. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Remember we talked about SIFO and SIFO and SIFO and SIBO, which is small intestinal fungal overgrowth, and large intestinal bacterial overgrowth. What this is, for those of you who didn't get it before, they are producing parasites that live in these different organs. The parasites live in all these different organs within our body. Don't think it's just the gut. It's the gut that's attacked the worst. And these parasites cause all this disease that we're having. They call it tumors. When they open up the tumors now, they're seeing the parasites all globby together in there in a sack. Because our DNA, the way we are made, our body naturally takes something to cover it to kind of protect us, and it's called a tumor. Again, our body speaks. It tells us, get this out of here, get it all out of me. And instead of giving us natural foods like cloves and MSM and the things, the wormwood and oh gosh, there's so many. Black walnut hull to get rid of the parasites. They want to, or the disease, or the big C, they want to give you chemo or radiation, which is killing everything. So we need to be mindful of that. I mean, many of us, sweets is the number one thing that they've sold us. And I used to be a sugarholic, so I get it. But highly processed GMO ingredients are found in corn syrup, soybean oil, canola oil, and processed foods. Those middle aisles of your grocery store, processed, all of it. They lead to poor digestion, gut inflammation, and we know inflammation is the precursor to all disease. Sluggish bowel movements, sluggish to the point of constipation, to bowel obstruction, where you have to have surgery to bring it out. It also causes food allergies and sensitivities. Uh, Concern remains about the proteins of the inflammation, and that's just hogwash because it is causing major blockages in our body. Because again, synthetic, not natural, into human bodies where they're injecting these proteins is not normal. Our body does not know what to do with it. Now, I want to give you some tips because I just don't want to throw all this stuff at you and say, oh, it's bad, 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 bad. But at the same time, I want you to understand what this is all about. And let's go look at appeal. Appeal is what he, and when I say he, I'm talking about Bill Gates of hell, because they've allowed him to be, although he's an IT guy, they've allowed him to be the one who handles and has a say in our foods and what we eat. Now, the thing about these appeal, if you look at the oranges in the picture I have with this, they're spraying the oranges, it gives you your fruit a nice shine, and you think everything is fine, but it's not. Uh, According to the FDA papers about the appeal, it contains lead, arsenic, cadmium, palladium, and mercury. Can I get that picture of the orange so that they can see how they're spraying it on? And it contains citric acid, which is almost always derived from GMO corn, which that corn, GMO, you're not going to see any bugs on it. You're going to eat that all summer long at your picnics and your barbecue and stuff, and it's not going to be good for you. It contains soap, sodium oleate, extra salt, sodium in your diet from just the outside of the food. Okay? It contains ethyl acetate, a flavoring agent used in solvents, paints, lacquers, perfumes, and processed foods, which is toxic if ingested or inhaled. It has heptane in it, which is used to test fuels, petroleum refinements, cements, and inks. Tattoos, anyone? It contains toluene, a highly toxic chemical with a wide range of detrimental health effects when inhaled, swallowed, or when in contact with your skin or your eyes. And we pick this stuff up in the store. We come home, we eat, or we might eat it in the store without washing it because we say, oh, it's just fruit. You know, it's just a grape and it's just a cherry, not knowing what's on the coating. We didn't even check the bag. And this is what's being sprayed in our food. And we come home, as soon as I get home, I wash my hands with soap and water because there's just too much going on now. And that's a practice we need to get into because this stuff, you rub it in your eye, you don't know what's going on. Now, other terrible things, if that wasn't enough, countries selling produce coated with appeal, which is APEEL, include not only the United States and Canada and Germany, the United Kingdom, that's right, Amnya, it's in the UK as well, in France, in Italy, in Peru, in Spain, in Sweden, in Norway, in China, in Australia, in South Africa, in Poland, and Japan. Did I miss any? It cannot be washed off. If anything you remember about appeal, it cannot be washed off. So don't think, oh, I'll just go home and soak it and it will go away. That cannot happen. It will not. This is a creation from Bill Gates. Same person who gave us GMOs. Gross me out. Labeling laws vary from state to state and country to country. It is made from diglycerides of fatty acids, which means it contains trans fats. Now, trans fats, we've got to talk about this, y'all, because this appeal is going to be heated before it's put on the produce. So if you're eating raw food, is it really raw if it's heated and then put on there? Or has it been cooked a little bit or altered a little bit? The produce is being sanitized as well. So they're doing a high pressure wash. You know, some of the skin might, like on a grape, might get broken and we eat it anyway. We figure, oh, it's just no big deal. And look at the toxins we put into ourselves. Now, there's some people, there's one of these, she's a nutritionist, and she had the nerve to say, oh, you know, it's so tiring to have to my food go bad. So it's wonderful to have this appeal because they last so much longer. And then they came up with Ed appeal because they were getting a little flack from people about the appeal. So Ed appeal is a natural, invisible, edible, plant-based alternative to fungicides, waxes, and chemical preservatives. The product created consists of a thin layer, very thin layer or barrier from natural plant extracts, and that's where they get us. Oh, it's natural. It protects produce from abiotic stressors that cause it to spoil, like water loss and oxidation. You know, when you eat an apple or you cut an avocado open and it gets brown, that's oxidation. That is normal. But now we have the CRISPR apples where you cut them open and nothing happens. It doesn't change because of the technology they put in that seed. And then if you look at the picture here, the ones that are on the left, those are the ones go through the natural process, and the ones on the right have the appeal on it. Your strawberries, which are lovely to eat, and your lemons, your bananas, not anymore. Be mindful of what you're getting. Know your farmer. Find a local farmer, a local market that you can go to and get your produce if you can. Now, they love to say, oh, it's organic. Oh, it's still good for you, but is it? Is it? When you are taking it in and you all of a sudden you have a stomach ache, you've got a lot of gas and bloating, and it doesn't go away, it keeps getting worse, and you wonder, what in the world did I eat? And you go, well, I eat clean. I hear that all the time. I eat clean. And I'm like, well, what did you have? Or what changed in your diet? Oh, I use apple cider vinegar. I said, oh, was it Bragg's? Well, you know, Bragg's brand, they sold that. And Katy Perry and some other people own it now, and they changed the recipe. Something that simple, folks, could affect our body. Something that simple. And it will bind us up. Remember what I said the issues are: constipation, gut issues, uh, bowel obstructions. All of these are affecting you. So when you have these things come up, don't think, oh my gosh, I did something. Think about, what did I eat wrong? Because it all goes back to what we put in our mouth or on our skin. Now, the FDA, the Food and Death Administration, they determined that trans fats are no longer generally recognized as safe for food use in 2016. Yet the mono and diglycerides are the go-to replacement. And I'm going to go into that now because we need to know about these. The monodiglyceride, you find that in your breads, all your baked goods. It's in there. Monodiglycerides. MONO, and then you might see a dash and it'll say diglycerides. If you have something in your cabinet right now that's processed, pull it out and look for monodiglycerides because it belongs to the family of glyc- glycerides, and triglycerides are the fats and the oils that make up our dietary fat source. You know, we love ice cream, don't we? Do you know oil is in ice? There's so much oil in ice cream. And it's the bad kind, like this monodiglycerides. And we eat our ice cream thinking, oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it. Oh, killing us, killing us, killing us. Monodiglycerides may be manufactured through the action of a plant or animal derived fatty acid with glycerol or via the breakdown of animal derived fats. Now, the thing is, it could be pork. And for those who are vegan, who are halal or Muslim, it could be pork. And they don't tell you, the FDA does not require them to make that distinction at all. It's not a requirement. So it's a emulsifier. It's something that allows to smooth or mix ingredients to make that cake frosting look nice and smooth, right? To reduce the stickiness, to control crystallization, to keep your ingredients dispersed, and your frozen foods to make it all nice, your peanut butter to stay together nicely in your baked goods. It improves the volume and the texture. And we're texture people, right? All of these are what this monodiglyceride does. So next time you are looking at your monoglycerides and diglycerides, I want you to think of those processed foods that are packaged, whether it's your chips, your Doritos, I'm pretty sure it's on there, your baked goods, your soft drinks, your candy, your gum. Yes, your gum, your whipped cream, the ice cream, margarine. Get rid of that margarine, throw it away, use butter, and your shortening. 70% of the emulsifiers in the US food industry are made up of these monoglycerides and diglycerides. Now, I want to go a step further because you know me. I'm all about that blood brain barrier. Guess what affects the blood brain barrier? Triglycerides. That's right. They make up a sticky form of fat that sticks to the artery walls. Heart attacks are the number one heart disease, the number one killer, right? We eat all this packaged stuff in those middle aisles of the grocery. And it causes the fat to stick to the artery walls and cause hardening and narrowing of those vessels. Eating foods with a lot of fat leads to atherosclerosis. Did I say that right? Atherosclerosis, which forces your heart to work overtime, harder, and it narrows the diameter of your blood vessels. If it was here like this, it goes smaller and smaller, and the blood isn't pumping, and therefore we have the heart attack, heart disease, the stroke, and death. So these triglycerides are fats found in your blood. And the body should be using it for energy, but they can't because they store them as fat. If you look at our omegas, the 3, 6, 9, the 3s are good, the 6 are somewhat good, the 9s are horrible. This is exactly what it's talking about here. They're storing fat in our body. So not only the high triglycerides a sign that our metabolism is not working, is damaged, but it's a sign that our body is storing this fat. And it can enter the brain and make us hungrier. So we want to eat more. It's a sick cycle. But as I mentioned, they have studied us. They know what we like. They know it's the sweets. They put it in everything. The triglycerides enter the brain and the central nervous system. Once they cross that blood brain barrier, inside the brain, they influence. And remember, we talked about the brain and those three glands, the pituitary, the hypothalamus, and the pineal. We talked about that. The hypothalamus is where it influences and it regulates our energy. So, therefore, our metabolism is going to go down. And at that point, you know, we say, oh, I just don't have the energy, I'm tired, and all this. You blame it on everything, and you don't realize it's this stuff that's in your food. So, what goes into our body is migrating. It's not like we ate it before and it's processed and then it's excreted through our excretory system. Now it's being eaten, it's changed because of what we're eating and the chemicals and toxins that are in the foods. It's changing our DNA in our body, giving us dis-ease, whether it is tumors, cysts, obstructions, fatty liver, heart disease, uh, prostate cancer, all the cancers, leukemia, all of the spleen. They're taking out the spleen, the gallbladder. They're taking out the kidneys. You know, you may have one a transplant. And the thing with the transplants, yes, it's wonderful. Science has evolved. They can take somebody else's, but they're harvesting organs somewhat, and they're creating stuff in labs. They're taking when babies are born, and that the sac from when the baby is born, the uterus sac, the placenta, and they're selling that thousands of dollars. Who knows what lab it's going to at what university and what they're studying. But these are things that we need to think about because it's affecting us in our food. So when you stop and think about going to your grocery store, stop, use that computer, you know, this thing you have in your hand that you carry around all the time, and look up in a farmer's market. Find somebody locally that you know who you can say, you see they selling, they have a sign in the yard, homegrown tomato. Stop, ask them what they do, how they do it, and use that as a place to go get your fruits and vegetables from. We can't continue what we're doing unless we want that outcome. Again, I mentioned it's a lifestyle change. Are we willing to make that lifestyle change? Do we feel we're worth it? Those trans fats, guess what? They allow us to have heart disease, strokes, and diabetes. Who does it impact the most? What genre of people does it affect? Um, when we look at it, I say I know what it tastes like, but that's me, and I made a change. But everyone has to make that change for themselves. We talked about your health care strategy, your self care strategy, because no one else can do it for you than you. I can't do it for you. You have to do it for you. Because when something happens, you want me to rush you to the hospital, you want me to rush you somewhere, help, 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 and you want me to pray. But we went and did this knowing it wasn't good for us. We ate that bread, that bagel, that donut, knowing that it may have pork in it. And yet we, We've got the bloating, the gas, we have our gut issues, got all this disease, we've got the big C, and we are not thinking about what we put in our mouths. We're not thinking what we put in our skins. But we know the enemy, what they've done in the store under the guise of whether it's philanthropy or consumerism or capitalistic society, all the consumer goods that they sell. We're the number one buyers. So it's time we stop. Think about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and does it still make sense for us to do it? We have been so programmed because do you remember? I'm going to go down memory lane now, the last few minutes, forgive me. I'm going to go down memory lane with y'all because I know you remember when you made homemade ice cream. It doesn't have any oils in it, no soybean oil, all these nasty oils. There's a company called Cargill, and they do all those oils for the ice cream. It's disgusting. It makes you not want to eat ice cream anymore. Okay? But I mean, it's everything. We used to make our own ice cream. We made our own pies. We made our own cinnamon rolls. We made our homemade bread. We didn't have to go to the store for those things. We had animals that we milked the cows and we drank that milk or the goat's milk, or we picked the coconut water, and that coconut water is the best thing to hydrate you, to rehydrate you when you're dehydrated. They used it too as blood transfusions when they ran out of blood because it's the closest thing to our DNA. I tell you, for the men, they need that coconut water. If they're trying to procreate, those things will make coconut water will make those things swim. They'll be like, fertilize, because it's part of our DNA. The Most High knew what he was doing. And what I love about the coconuts, you see how high they are on the sky? The closer they are to the heavens, this better it is for you because it's gravity, right? And it's defying gravity up there. So it makes sense that it's so good for you. But again, we have to know these things and understand these things. And then remember, they used to. We had chickens in the yard growing up, so we didn't have to go to the grocery store for our chickens or the goats. You go outside and my uncle used to chop the neck off, and next thing we know, supper, there was that chicken, and it was delicious. We had the eggs fresh. We had the lettuces for the salads. All of these things should be coming from our garden, and we go to the store. I saw a heartbreaking video this week. There was a little child in the store, no, at school, and the teacher was coming around with real vegetables, and they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what a tomato was because they don't see these things. I would think it behooves me as a parent to take my child to the store so they understand where food comes from. I take them to the farm so they understand where this comes from. These things need to happen. Totally needs to happen because time is running out. And we need to know that when I say gross me out, this technology is terrible for us. It's harming us. And before I forget, I have here, this is a smart card. I get this from the same company I get my water from and my pendant. This has ERT in it. It's energy resonance technology. What this does, it makes your food better. I put this in the crisper in my refrigerator, and my fruits and vegetables can last weeks. I think I can go like 3 weeks without it spoiling most times. And it's just a little card with the technology in it. I can put my water here on this, and it changes the energy in here and makes this much better. It tastes, the water even tastes better. So anytime you have a drink, we have a test that we do with lemons. You can put sliced lemons and put one on one side and one on the other side, put it on here, and you taste it. The one on this side tastes totally different from the one that has not even touched it, just because of the technology in here, the energy. Now, this is technology used for good, not the technology with the AI, artificial interference, that we have been subjected to. And with that, I hope you understand why I say gross me out. They may call it genetically modified, but my God says, nature was here first. He put it here for us. So next time you go to the store, or as you make that list, look at the places where you can go to find your vegetables, your fruits, and let it be somewhere that somebody somebody you feel that you can trust, and talk to other people. There's some butchers, there's some butchers that are really good. Ask them where they're getting their meat from. Talk to people at your job and see what's going on, because it's a real issue and it's harming us. It's a real issue. Yes, Sister Dawn loves that Yucca app. She uses it. My son uses it all the time. He will call me and tell me, "Oh, that is not on that app, so he's not buying it." I'm like, okay. But yes, the Walmart, the Aldi's, the Dollar Generals, don't be buying food there. Don't be buying your meats there. Don't trust it. It's harming our bodies. And it's important that we take a stand. Last week we talked about Dare to be a Daniel. Boiling your water is not going to do it. Boiling your water, if it has the chlorine and the fluoride in it, is not going to help any. That it may help some on that appeal, but not enough to get rid of it. Sad to say, sad to say. But my time is up, my darlings. Much love to you all. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me just talk to you. And know that it's all meant with love. One day we'll have manna. Yes, Sister Dawn. One day we'll have that manna from heaven, and it will be like music to our soul, or maybe a symphony in our palate. But until then, pray. Pray over everything you eat. Everything that comes in your house, pray over it. And let the Most High protect us. Psalms 91. Much love. Mwah.
Every herb, every healing flower, Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day. Naturally you, naturally free, naturally living as God meant to be. Breathe the air that's fresh and pure. Nature's bounty is the cure. Sister MJ shows what's real in every word and every meal. From the mountains to the sea, every breath is harmony. Feel the beat and feel alive. With Sister MJ we thrive. Grains and fruits in every bite. Feel the energy, feel the light. Harmony in every part. Naturally you, with all your heart.